Welcome back to the Inner Magic School podcast. I'm so excited today because I have an amazing guest for you. And this conversation is going to be pure gold, especially when it comes to the art of manifestation, the art of bringing all the things that you want into your life, because we have been talking a little bit off camera. And basically, my guest today has a secret weapon, a secret weapon when it comes to manifestation. So I'm going to turn it over to you, my beautiful guest. And would you just introduce yourself to our listeners?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette, and I am a life coach. So I work with women who want it all. Like, forget it. You want it all, right? So women who go from being boxed in, knowing that they want more out of life, and they step into their power, they become empowered queens. And I do it in a way that feels fun, pleasurable, and free. So that's what I do.
I mean, can I raise my hand on that? Yes, please. So I love this because first of all, I just feel like so many times when we talk about manifesting, when we talk about like goal setting, when we talk about business, when we talk about all these things, it gets real serious real fast. Like, it's like, okay, I got to write down my goals, and then I got to do this, and we make these lists, and we got to do all this stuff. And you're kind of coming in like shaking all that up a little bit and being like, no, y'all got it backwards. So what would you say? You were telling me earlier, like there's something that you had to shift for yourself, and it's
Yes.
part of what you also help people do. So it's kind of like your little secret, your secret weapon. That's what I'm calling it. Your secret magic.
Whoa, I love it. My secret magic. Anyone wants to know my secret magic? Yes. So here's the thing. So I've encountered manifestation since 2006. So I started the whole process, manifesting, and I attracted a lot of things in my life, like amazing things. But when I wanted to manifest bigger things, it was always like, I need to write this list. I need to get in my head. So I was just all over the place, and then nothing would happen. I'm like, what's happening? So most of the time we really get into I wrote $10,000 on a piece of paper, and then I sent it to the ocean, whatever it is. But what we're not realizing is the letting go part. The letting go part is where the pleasure comes in. So for me, what was missing is the pleasure part. It's allowing myself to let it all go. I've manifested, I decided, I'm claiming what I want. Now I am going to have fun. I am going to allow pleasure into my life. And that was the big shift into manifesting little blocks and then bigger things in my life. And more consistently, the pleasure, when I included the pleasure, I was more consistent into manifesting what I wanted. So yeah.
I love that so much. And I think you're so right. Like we just get so serious about life sometimes. And when we do that, it literally starts to block the flow. It blocks what we want. But I think, from my work and from your work too, I'm sure you've seen this as like every person, we talk about like we have a cap on how much we can earn, and we have a ceiling for how much, whatever abundance we're allowing into our lives. But there's sort of a bigger thing at play here where there's a pleasure block, or there's a pleasure cap. There's only so much happiness, pleasure, joy, fun that people will allow into their lives, right? Do you see that?
Absolutely. Yes, I see it all the time. And it's like, I've been manifesting this thing, and I'm like, well, when was the last time you had fun? What do you mean? I don't have time to have fun. I need this thing into my life. I'm trying to call this in. I'm like, well, that's the problem. You're like too serious about this. Like, go out and like do things you love, like feel it in your belly. What is it that you want? Why in the first place you wanted to manifest that thing that you're manifesting? So it's like, find that amazing high vibe energy again, and just go out and find the things you really want to do and have some fun and call in some pleasure and just feel all the excitement there needs to be felt.
Yes, I love it. I love this. And so, do you have maybe like 3 things that you would suggest or that you can tell people of ways to do this, of ways that you can start to, like, that you suggest to get into that feeling and really, like you said, feel it in your belly? And I agree. Like, I know when I am on that like vibration, when I'm on that vibe, when I have hit that frequency, because I can literally feel it in my body. Like, it's like a tingly, like you're talking about, you feel it in your belly, you feel it in your heart, you just like feel it. So what are like 3 things that you would say to people are ways that you can like tap into that joy or pleasure?
Yes. So I would say the number one thing, I would say let go. Okay. Let go of resistance. We have to let that go, because it's like when we put pressure on the things that we're manifesting and we're doing, we're just, like you said, we're putting a block and we're not moving forward. So I want you to just literally, you write it down, let it go. Let it go. Just remember that it's already done. Okay. This or something better. It's done. It's done. I don't have to worry about it. So let go of the resistance. And number 2 is really feeling it into your belly. Because that's one thing I do is when I'm manifesting something, I really go into my belly to feel the pleasure and feel all the emotions of why I'm manifesting that thing. So if I'm manifesting this cup of water, I literally feel like, oh my gosh, I feel it in my belly. Ooh, a really nice cold cup of water. And it's going into my body. Ooh, I feel it. I love it. I can't wait to just have it in my hand and just drink it. So I really, truly feel it. And then, because sometimes when we manifest things, it's not really coming out of a place of desire. It's just like, well, I would love $10,000, but why do you want $10,000? Why do you desire $10,000? What do you see yourself doing with that? So feel it all in your belly. And I like the belly because that's where, again, we have so much power in our belly. So that's where the magic happens. We create life. It's just amazing energy in there. And again, and then after that, we go have pleasure. What does even pleasure mean? How do you even have pleasure in your life, right? Pleasure means different things to different people. Pleasure is very personal. What brings me pleasure might not be something you like. So what is it that you love to do? So I usually like classify pleasure into like 4 different categories, like the physical, the fun, the mastery, and the social. So we have the physical. It's like the dancing, because when I need pleasure in my life, I'm like, I am going to dance. I'm going to let go of my body. I'm going to just be. And when I really want to really tap into the physical, it's like you have the self-pleasure, you have the, amazing orgasmic manifestation is gold. But anyways,
But I digress.
I digress. That's a whole different topic. And we
podcast episode that I'll have to have you back on.
It's funny because honestly, I'm gonna talk, because it's when it comes to like the sexual energy, a lot of us women were afraid of it, and especially for me, I grew up Catholic, so that was a block I had to let go of. I'm like, but that's a whole different thing. So, and then we have the fun. The fun are the things that I love to do. Like, it's not like moving my body, but it's like watching a movie that I love, right? And it's not just watching Netflix and chill. Like, I'm just going to click something and play. But it's really, I love Dirty Dancing. Dirty Dancing brings me this sexiness energy. It's like, I want to watch it. So I do that. And I read a book that really brings me happiness and fun and all this thing. And then we go into the mastery. So the mastery for me, it's like learning a new skill and like really something that brings me excitement. It could be like gardening, because then I feel all my fingers touching the dirt. Really? Oh
Oh,
my
I
God.
love gardening. I love it so much. Yes.
It's so amazing. So it's like learning the skills, and even like for me, learning new languages, that's pleasure for me. It's like, because when I get to speak with people in a different language, it's like, hello. so so I love that. So that brings me really, really good pleasure. And then the social activities that you go out and you do. You know, for me, it could be biking, it could be golfing, it could be like relaxing at the beach. You know, for me, those are the social environment that I do with other people and in a social setting. So I really put all my pleasurable activities in like 4 categories. So then you have a lot of things you can do, honestly, to bring you pleasure. But you have first to literally let go. Then second, you have to learn how to feel it in your body, to truly feel like it's desire. And when you actually doing the pleasurable things, then you're like, oh, yes. Oh my gosh. And when you tap into those amazing things, amazing pleasure, it's like I'm at the beach looking at the sunset, I'm having fun. Then you set that amazing intention and you're manifesting gold. It's like, ugh.
Oh, that's so good. I love that you have these 4 categories. That's actually really, really genius. So yeah, that's amazing. So here's the other question that I sort of have is, and this is probably like everybody, we each maybe have our own interpretation of why this happens, but in your experience, why is it hard for women to have those pleasure experience, to allow those fun, even just fun, like you said, oh, I don't have time to have fun, I gotta go like make life hard over here and like do all the things. So like I see this more in women than men, although I know there are men who have their head down and they're just doing the things as well. But it seems like it comes up with women more, where they just don't allow themselves to have those pleasure moments.
Yes, and I actually was having a conversation, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. So a lot of the thing that I see when I work with women, it's a lot of the past, right? It's a lot of the self-confidence, first of all. It's like I have so many responsibility in my life, I don't have time for myself. So then we usually go back to the self-love. Make sure you replenish your cup, because when you know for sure that you are a priority, you allow yourself to receive pleasure, to allow pleasure into your life. So it really, for me, I really see it go back to the self-love, the priorities, because we take care of everybody else. And we're like, I'll get pleasure later. And then next thing you know, it's like the end of the day, it's like I'm going to sleep, because we pour everything out to everybody else. So that's why I'm like, let's go back into the why. You deserve this. You are worthy of pleasure. You are, because, and especially, I mean, come on, in this world, the history of women, especially in this country, we were just like little puppets, little autopilot women. This is what you need to do. It doesn't matter what you cared about, what you wanted to really do. We had to take care of the house. We had to do this in the kitchen. So it really didn't matter if you needed pleasure. A man wanted to, like, I'm the man, let's have sex. You didn't even enjoy sex because it was like, I have to. You know, so we don't even know how to really open up to even allow ourselves to receive that pleasure. And so that's why it's very important to really unleash the goddess within. Because, oh yeah, the goddess is hidden. And when we let that goddess out, that's when we truly know I am worthy. I am worthy of receiving a full body orgasm. I am worthy of receiving pleasure when I'm eating, when I'm riding my bike, when I'm dancing. And it's really letting go of the control. And no one has the power over you to tell you what it is that you need to do. So I want you to let go of the control. Like, you are okay, you are safe. Allow yourself to have pleasure. So yeah, so that's why I see it comes from most of the time with my clients.
I love that so much. I've been really thinking about lately how, we've heard this concept so much, especially in the self-love space, of like, you're not born, hating yourself. Nobody's born like thinking their body's ugly or they're not worth all the things that they want.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, a baby is just a baby and they fully embrace all of themselves. But then the other part of this that I've been thinking about lately is like, a baby doesn't even know any better than to expect everything that they want. And even if we're like going into like toddlerhood, like,
Oh yeah.
babies don't work. Babies don't, do anything for money. Literally all they are chasing is those joy moments, is those pleasure moments, is the fun in life. That's literally all they even care about, right? And it's, as obviously as we get older, we do have some responsibilities, and we do, have to, take care of our children or whatever it is.
Do we? I'm just kidding.
I mean, sometimes.
I'm just kidding.
But do we really have to? Kidding. But like, even that could be fun. Even that, we can like find the fun and find the joy. And that has been a relearning for me over the last several years, specifically of just remembering that life was never meant to be just hard and heavy and sad and frustrating. Not that we don't have those times, but that the overall experience is meant to be lived in the pleasure and the fun and the choice, chasing those joyful moments. So yeah.
Yes, I agree. And one thing that I have to say, my son is 8. So what I love to do is making him my biggest lesson, my biggest example. So whenever I feel like, ooh, you're in your head, I'm like, what do you want to do? And then he's like, I want to go, whatever. I'm like, I don't want to. But then I'm like, no, you're going to do it. You're going to be a child. You're going to have fun. So I allow myself to have fun like a child, because we were just like, when we were children, it's like all we thought about was having fun and just be happy. But now it's like we're letting our environment take over. So we just forget how to have fun. So I allow myself as a mom, it's like, okay, I'm not a typical mom, okay? I'm a cool mom, and I'm going to do the amazing thing that my kids do. So, and I think that's where sometimes we forget when we get older. It's like, well, I'm a mom, I have to be responsible. Yes, we could be responsible and still have fun. So
yes, that's so good. And I don't think I knew your son was 8. My son is 8 as well. Although if I ask him what he wants to do, it's going to be play Fortnite.
Oh my gosh. No, I don't even know how to, no.
And that's a hard no for me. So.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I'm teasing. But no, I totally see this because, when he is running around outside and just like, they just have fun. Like, they just go. And the other thing is like, and if things are getting, where you're like with school, for example, it's like, well, you have to do this and you have to do that. Like, he's so resistant to that. And obviously there is some sort of like integration that has to happen with like, as you grow and evolve, there are more things that come with the experience. But
Yes.
at the same time, how can we make those things fun? Like, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be awful or heavy. Like, we can just relax about all of it. Relax about school, relax about, chores or, whatever, put on
Yes.
some music and like,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yes. I love this because that's something I love to do. And let's talking about my son. So what I do with him though, it's like because we want to have this high vibe energy. And of course, whenever I said homework, he's like, no. So what we do, he comes back, go have some fun. You're responsible for your own hours. So you're gonna tell me from this hour to this hour, you're going to do your work. From this hour, go have fun. Go have fun, ride your bike, run outside, and let me know. But what we also like to do, because I do this, because I don't like cleaning, okay?
Me neither.
So, no. So what I do, I have my high vibe playlist, and I have my amazing music in there, and I just press play. And next thing I know, I'm like vacuuming, I'm on a roll, I'm dancing, I'm in my body, I'm having fun because I'm like, I have to do this thing anyways, so I might as well have fun when I do it. So instead of like pulling my energy down, because I want to be in a state where I could manifest on demand. So I'm like, even the things that I don't enjoy doing, my emails, I always have music playing because music is like one of my, it just fuels my soul. It speaks to me on a different level and it vibrates in my entire body. So whenever I'm in a mood, like I'm not feeling something, I change it really quick. I process, okay, why do I don't want to do this? Because I just don't like it. Okay, play music. And then I'm like, ooh, this email's good. Okay, I'm having so much fun doing this. And I talk to myself like this a lot of time. So I'm in this pleasurable mode that, ooh, the music is doing for me. And then I'm like, ooh, I'm having so much fun. I love doing emails. I love it. I have inbox 0. And then when I'm processing all of this, and it just happened. And literally, by the time I'm done, I'm like, inbox 0. Oh my goodness.
Yes, exactly. I love that so much. I did the same thing recently, got caught on camera, just like dancing, doing the dishes. I'll have to find that video. But I was like doing the dishes. Same thing. I have like my playlist that it totally changes your state. It just changes, like you said, it raises that vibration. And then it's like, I have to do the dishes, so I might as well have fun. And, truth be told, I don't have fun doing the dishes every time I do them. Sometimes I, get stuck in my head about it a little bit. But for the most part, I'm looking for the way that I could make it fun. I'm looking for the way that we can like raise the vibration of it. Or because even the idea, like when I'm talking to my son about, okay, well, we have to do chores, we have to do this. It's like, maybe we don't want to do this piece of it, but is that going to get us the end results that we really do want? And so looking at that as a kind of like a longer term thing, like when you're like inbox 0, that's what you want, because that it makes the space, it creates this expansion, it raises the vibe. So maybe doing it isn't the fun part, but if you can make it fun and like get to that end result, now you're really calling some big stuff in because you have really raised your vibration. So I love
exactly. And what I also love to do with it's trying to stay in a pleasurable mind, right? It's like calling in pleasure and everything I do. So it's like, yes, I don't want to do it, but keeping my pleasure state actually raise my vibration even higher. So when I am manifesting the things that I want and I desire, it's so much quicker. It's so much like happening because I am like, ooh, I'm watering my plant. Yay, awesome. I am like driving to the store. Amazing. So I listen to like binaural beats so I could raise my vibe. But because those steps every single day that we wake up, we're going to have things we don't want to do and do things we don't want to do. But how can we really make it fun? It could be simple. Like it could be simple things. Music, for example, move your body, but make every single thing you do, make it fun and find the pleasure in it. And then it's like, why am I doing this email? Ooh, okay, but I'm answering clients. Ooh, okay. The inbox 0. So go back into the belly part and find the desire. Why am I cleaning my house? Because I love it when it smells yummy, you know? So I am doing it because I love how it smells, how I walk barefoot and feel nothing. So it's like, that's like, find the desire in it of why you're doing this stuff. So that's how I see the pleasure in every single thing I do, right? So
that's genius. It's really genius. And so I read a book not too long ago. Do you know who Neville Goddard is?
no.
Okay, he's one of my favorite. He's not that old, but like, I mean, he's dead and gone now, but I mean, like, he's like older author.
Okay.
But his writings and teachings are so genius. I love them so much. And he has a book called Feeling is the Secret. And it's similar to what you're talking about. You're literally talking about a process to get into the feeling. And the whole point is that is the language of the universe. Feeling good is the language of the universe. So you're speaking the language of the universe, of the things that you desire and the things that you want when you feel good. And so that's why I'm like, this is so magic. This is so powerful. And if people will really just like, if whoever's listening, if they're listening to this now and like take some notes, go back, listen again, because there's gold in what you're talking about, truly.
Yes, because it's true, because the feeling of it, because I could sit here and say, I want to manifest a home. And if I don't feel it, it's like, meh, like the home is not going to come, because the home feel like I don't really want the home. I'm just manifesting the home because maybe I'm scared that I won't have a home, whatever's behind that, right? So, but when you really feel good, it's like, ooh, I feel it in every bone of my body that this home is mine. And then I go and I drink ice cream and I dance and I let it be. And it's like, ooh, I see me in my house again. Oh my gosh, I am feeling it. I am really, and I am feeling it. And my heart literally opens, and I allow myself to allow these feelings to be, because the universe wants us to feel good, because that's the state we should be in. We should feel good. So allowing ourselves to feel good, we manifest amazing things. And usually that's one of the blocks. We could write 1,000 things down, but if we don't feel good about it, it's just going to just be there on a piece of paper. So
yes, I love it. I love it. Okay, so this was amazing. Thank you so much for taking your time to share this wisdom and magic with my community. So tell us, where can people find you and what good stuff do you have going on right now?
okay, so you could find me on IG,
Okay.
Instagram for, if you don't know what IG stands for.
Okay. We got all ages, people. We got all ages.
I know. So you could find me on Instagram at Georgette Casimir Coaching, Facebook on Georgette Casimir Coaching, and you could email me, DM me. I'm not complicated. Just message me if you wanted to get in touch with me. And right now, I have a program coming out. You hear my child? Okay.
I do. I'm sure you'll hear mine at some point, so don't worry about it.
I love it, working from home. But yeah, so I have a program right now. It's all about women and how to communicate in your relationship. It's knowing how to build emotional intelligence. It's knowing how to be in the receiving mode at the end of the day. You ask for what you want, but are you ready to receive it? And how do you communicate in a way that you're in your feminine power? And it's like, oh, okay, how can I say no to this goddess, you know? So how do we call that in? Because a lot of time, us women, we don't know what we're at. We don't know how to ask for what we want. So we pretty much just say, it's okay, it's fine. No, it is not fine. What is it that you want? But asking, communicating that in a way that your spouse, your mom, your kid, because if I do that with my son too, and the relationship is beautiful when I communicate with him this way. And it's like, asking for what you want and are really coming into your feminine power and just like, ooh. And then it's like, okay, I am ready to receive that. I can receive that. I am ready. So that's what I have now. And this one is starting December 15th. Yes. Yeah.
Somewhere
I
around
had to think about it. I'm like, when is it starting? So yeah, that's when it's starting December 15th. And it's and I'm so amazed about it because I'm very passionate about talking about building emotional intelligence, because I know for sure a lot of us, and when it comes to relationships, that's one thing that's really lacking. We just don't understand each other. But if we took some time to really process some emotions and realize this is not mine, this is not my emotion, why am I holding on to this? But if we really know how to manage, how to like take in and let go, we would be so much more powerful, and we would be more in, like, literally, if you're in a relationship, your partner would like be like, oh my gosh, I just want this lady all the time. Come to me. You know, it's really knowing how to, because I always talk about the mothering with when it comes to the masculine and the feminine. The masculine, you can't mother the masculine because the masculine is not attracted to mothering. So how do you want your sexiness, your passion to just come out? And anyways.
I love it. And you're so magical and so powerful and so magnetic. That was the word when I first saw you. I was just like, there was just like light beaming off of you. I was like, who is this girl? She's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today and just being you and shining your beautiful light into the world.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Pleasure.
For me too. See, we are owning our pleasure.
Yes.